Hey everybody, welcome to Special Spice. Today we explore the charming Dutch town of Haarlem, just 20 kilometers west of Amsterdam. We'll check out cafes, canals, carnivals, and churches. We'll see a rooftop restaurant and their buzzing nightlife. And we'll give you tips and insights from the perspective of first-time visitors. So come along and let's have some fun. At Coffee Habits in the center of Haarlem. Got a filter coffee Colombian, and it's on a beautiful street here. Mo joined me. What'd you order?
A oat milk cortado with Manhattan roaster beans. So.
Very cool. We're gonna go back to Toast. It was a wonderful breakfast, and the vibes are good.
Sitting outside at Toast and just watching all of the locals and tourists pass by. People watching is such a European pastime.
Love this alleyway here. And we're gonna go find the old church in the center of town. They call these streets Golden Streets. They have a lot of businesses and not too corporate, more independent shops. Houdenstraat. And then you turn the corner, see part of the church there. Beautiful. The sun came out, about 55 degrees. A little chilly and sunny. Lots of restaurants with terraces here. I noticed they call outdoor seating terraces. So this is Saint Bavo Church in the center of Haarlem. Pretty impressive, I will say. A bit more impressive than most of the churches we saw in Amsterdam. There's also this building over here that has a lot of details to it. So this is a Gothic church. I found that Gothic churches are usually my favorite in Europe. And they have an organ in there called Müller organ from 1738. We hope to see it because Handel actually played it, as well as a 10-year-old Mozart. The shape at the top there, we call it the Dutch bottle top. You see that a lot. And then the other common one is the stair steps at the top. Very Dutch. It's a very trippy juxtaposition of 400-year-old buildings and this modern-day carnival. It's fun though. Everyone's very happy and excited to be out. Also, it was predicted clouds today, and look at those bright blue skies.
Really cute shops. Heading back towards the church to go to Jules Coffee. What we love about a lot of these old European towns is you'll just be walking and then you'll just see a tiny, tiny alley, and people actually use it.
It's about 5 feet wide, maybe 4.5. If I laid down, I would have to bend my knees to fit. Oh wow. Surprises around every corner. This little garden area. So cool. In Europe, you gotta just wander, see what you find. Don't follow the Google suggested route. Just see where you want to end up and take the wandery route to get there. We're going to a coffee shop, but you gotta be willing to make turnoffs.
This place is called Wine Garden.
Ooh, Wine Garden. Is it W-I-J-N?
Uh-huh.
I see. This place is tiny and crooked. It's from 1624. And the church views from every side street, they don't get old. Reminds me when you're in Florence and you're taking all these different streets and you see the Duomo from every angle. And every angle, it never gets old. Another alleyway. You can tell on Google Maps it's an alleyway if it's like a thinner narrower outline of a street on Google Maps, where you can tell something's there, but it's not marked like a regular street. So every time we see those, we say, ooh, let's route that way. Found this cute building. It almost looks like Switzerland right here in the front with the flower boxes. And then looks like a small church here. Probably newer. There's a theater here, Theater de Liefde. And another Biegenhof, which I think is a little village that's next to a church. So we saw the one in Amsterdam that was quote unquote hidden, but it was loaded with tourists. But I think this is a similar concept. A little tucked village next to a church. We're along the canal now and wanted to get a little more caffeine. We love seeing different coffee shops, so we're at a place called Jules on this corner here. And walking along the canal, there were so many people outside in the sun eating. They are on holiday. It was a very cheery vibe, very cheerful. So let's check out Jules.
Jules Coffee, really cute. Interesting little shop with a pebbled bar. They serve duck from Amsterdam as well as 5 ways from Amsterdam. Continuing on the pebble theme, the walls are pebbled as well. Really nice clean plywood bars and the pebble bar base. Really cute shop along the canal. They really prefer oat milk as their alternative milk here, and so I got an oat milk cortado and Tyler got an Americano, and they seem to always serve it with a little glass of water on the side. It's sweet. I like how considerate that is. This whole bridge turns. It doesn't open up. It just turns to allow larger boats to pass. Nice. Larger boats that don't fit underneath it, of course. This is cool.
Bigger and bigger.
Here they come.
And then here they come. Wow. Look at that. It's just kind of teetering. This is cool. Wow. What do you think they use these boats for still? Just for sailing? Fun? Oh, it looks like there's people eating and drinking there. Maybe it's like a cruise?
It's like a boat parade. All the tall boats go through at once.
Wow. I have never seen a bridge turn sideways before. It's a boat parade. All the tall boats are like, it's time guys, let's cross.
Seagull meows like a cat.
There goes the bridge. There goes the boat. Wow. I've never been on a boat like that. I think it'd be pretty fun. Yeah, lady captain. Woo.
One thing I learned being in Europe is that dense living, where everyone's more cramped together, doesn't have to be stressful. Like, it's way more dense here than a lot of parts of Los Angeles, even though, you know, it's a town of 160,000. You know, mostly multi-unit housing. But it's so peaceful. It doesn't have to be stressful. A lot of times the stress comes from too many cars, too much noise, something imbalanced in the lifestyle. So
So we noticed that this little village is from 1988. You can tell it's newer, but it's right next to a very old church, Jopenkerk. Kerk in Dutch means church. But yeah, look at this. Just people living right there. Insanely gorgeous old church right there. And it's so quiet and peaceful. So this church, Jopenkerk, I think I'm butchering it, has a lamplit tower made of sandstone, and it's from the late 1400s, so it's quite gorgeous. Ready? That's sandstone, and apparently the tower lights up by lamp. There's a door leading you out to the next little street, which in America would probably be called an alley because it's so small, but I love that these are just streets to them. Wandering around the church, there is this gorgeous courtyard open to the public called Taylor Chauffier. Don't actually know what that means, but there is a Taylor's Museum. Where are we, Tyler?
So behind me is Windmill de Adrian. We don't know who Adrian is, but he's got his own windmill. It's from the late 1700s, and they have like windmill tours where you can go inside of it and they explain everything, and like a cafe and whatnot. We were able to go on a windmill yesterday at Kokenhof, so we just wanted to take a view of it, but it's nice.
It's pretty cool to be able to see windmills from 1700s just still standing and in great condition in the middle of the city.
That's true. That's unique. Just to see a windmill, period.
Yeah, period.
Yeah.
I wonder if they ever spin it.
I don't know.
That'd be so cool.
It is windy and it's not spinning. So
That's true.
We stumbled into this. I see a dome shape here. Mo, what is this?
This actually used to be a prison.
No way.
One of the nicest prisons I've ever seen. And now it is no longer a prison. It is actually a theater.
Oh, Cinematheque.
Yeah. Cinematheque.
Very cool. I love that. Repurposing buildings. Another view of the theater. So this is the busiest, most Corrie street we've seen this whole trip, but we're noticing the infrastructure, how you have the busy highway and then a tall curb and then the bikeway, which is directly to my right here, and then the walkway. So even as a pedestrian, sure it's louder, sure it's Corrie, but you are pretty protected, and it does feel a bit nicer than some of the US design. And even though it's a highway, great amount of bike traffic here. It's about 4 o'clock on Friday.
This is Amsterdam Support. It is the official medieval gates of Haarlem back in the day. Can you imagine just guards guarding the city? And to officially get in, you had to walk through these gates, which we're gonna do right now.
Pass. If they let us in. It reminds me of Never Ending Story when they had these challenges. There was one where there was these tall I don't know, creatures on beams that they would like shoot at you.
Yes,
if you
that's
showed
right.
fear or something. God, that movie's good.
That movie was incredible.
Wow.
Ooh. And these windows, if memory serves me right from history lessons, they're thin and narrow like this to help people not hit you during attacks. Yeah. But you could still shoot at people. Wow. The fact that people built this in medieval times, look at how massive these doors are, and these gorgeous dome ceilings. Wow. That's a door handle.
Door handle? Wow.
Pretty awesome. I like you, Haarlem. So here in Haarlem, all the signs here are in Dutch, whereas in Amsterdam, there was a lot more English. So you can just see how much more tourism Amsterdam proper gets. And then when you go out into the outskirts like Haarlem, it is gorgeous and historical, but not as catering to tourists, which I appreciate.
Also, Amsterdam is very international, so it's people living there from all over the world.
Yes.
So English becomes like the common language. Whereas here, yeah, there's immigration and whatnot, but Dutch is more the go-to language.
Yes, but despite that, we still have every single person fluent in English here that we've encountered.
True.
Every single person. Look at these small streets and slightly crooked houses. Just like in Amsterdam, you see a lot of pulleys at the top of the buildings and buildings leaning forward on purpose so they could pulley up a lot of their furniture. But yeah, so charming.
I found a bench at this quiet intersection. Mo's across the way. This is why we travel. To find corners of the world that make us happy and intrigued and at peace. This is it. This green color is so pretty against the brick. By the canal for a while. We almost forgot what it looks like over here. So beautiful. We're gonna go to dinner at a place on the 6th floor of a parking garage, but I guess it's a fun rooftop spot. We're gonna check it out.
One of the streets that is one of the oldest ones is this street, Langeweerstraat, and it is the bar street. Very close to where we're staying. It was actually quite loud and lively last night, and that was Thursday. But a lot of locals come here, and it's still early, so hasn't filled in quite yet, but Friday night.
And our room is right up there on the corner. So from our big window, we can see this bar, Florent, last night.
That's right. So here's this bar. We could see it all night. It was full last night, and that is literally our room.
So we have an ugly parking garage here, something you don't see too often in Europe. But at the very top, there's a restaurant called DeDAKKAS, and we've heard good things about it. So let's see if we can find DeDAKKAS. Take the stairs, 6 floors up. Every floor is labeled with some sort of a animation. A giraffe drinking from a straw. Getting a good workout. 6B. Rooftop dining.
We've made it to DeDAKKAS on the top of this parking garage. There's a really beautiful indoor area, but we came here for this rooftop seating. Look at all of these people just enjoying the gorgeous sunny day. The wind is chilly, not gonna lie, but the sun makes it completely worth it. There's an upper level, and then there's a lower level. They hold a lot of events here as well. Comedy nights, weddings, fun shows, I'm assuming. Hey, Tyler.
Hello, hello.
And
Perfect.
it's so perfect. Look at our view. That's the church, and there's the Ferris wheel where we're staying right next to that. And if you can read Dutch, you can also read their agenda, which is their word for schedule here.
They have a lot of events here, like comedy
Yeah,
night
I was mentioning
and-
that.
Oh yeah.
Some sort of brunch. Don't know what else.
Other Dutch things. Yeah, it's a rad spot, and it seems like mostly locals. They spoke to me in Dutch, like full on, and I was like, the
Hello.
first time where they were fully confident I was Dutch.
And in case you forgot, this is the top of a parking garage. In the far off distance, you can see the energy windmills, I guess you would call them. It's pretty cool that they harness so much of the wind here, from historical windmills to new ones. And yeah, the city's just so well planned, very practical. Haarlem and Amsterdam both. The Netherlands are just, they got a lot of things right. So we just got our food at DeDAKKAS. I got the catch of the day, and Tyler got the pea ravioli. It looks beautiful in a beautiful setting with some beautiful company.
Heck yeah. We just finished dinner at DeDAKKAS. Had a wonderful meal. The food was so good. Pretty famous, Frans Hals Museum. Frans Hals was one of the Dutch masters painters, and he's from Haarlem, so he's the most famous painter from this town. We're not doing a lot of museums on this trip. It's not our personal favorite, but we wanted to see what it looks like. Note to self, translate this later. I know this is getting trite, but another cute alley and a church at the end called Nieuwe Kerk, which means new church. And here's Nieuwe Kerk, the newer church. Korte Houtstraat, tiny street next to the church. So cute, little wine bar right here, and just loaded with greenery. And no cars on these streets. Bikes and peds only. We even got some Christmas lights here. An angel. And then I love this little sign here. Don't know what it says, but De White Lotus. We just finished season 3. Unused lot, so rare to see in Europe. Unused space. Think of the possibilities. The old library, and then the newer add-on over there. 1572. And a place to get coffee right here. I like having a coffee shop connected to your library. Coffee and books is a great combo. So we're gonna check it out. Saint Bavo. So we're on the inside, we're gonna be whispering. But what caught our eye is the organ in the back. The Mueller organ in the back has 5,068 pipes and is about 30 meters high. One of the biggest in the world. Mozart played on this in the 1700s. It's massive. This church is from the 1400s, so almost 700 years old. Next to the organ, this is the Holy Ghost bench, where they would hand out bread to the poor, and it dates back to 1470. Very old bench here. Lots of history. And then next to it we have a little tribute here to Mozart and Handel. This is a safe from the 15th century that would hold important documents. The oldest safe in Haarlem. Honestly, if I was in there, I'd feel pretty safe. There's a lot of little side rooms of the curved ceiling on this one, and some old photos. And
very small.
Yeah, the last one, the one to the left, was my exact height. Here's a pulpit that dates from 1434. Lots of details. There's some snakes on it to symbolize evil fleeing the world. Here's the orphan box, where money was collected for orphans. And now they collect money here to benefit the church. This stained glass window on the north side of the church is called Peace and Tolerance. And it was actually unveiled in 2008, so it's a more recent piece in the church by a local artist. The history of the Netherlands is a history of ships. So much of their past built upon ships. This is the choir area, and on Monday nights they have music services. The entire floor of this church is actually gravestones. There's 1,500 gravestones altogether. This is the Brewer's Chapel, where they used to brew different types of drinks. I'm not sure if it was beer, ales, cider, mead, but now it's the coffee corner. Pretty rad. You can see the coffee machine. Just a very haunting but also peaceful place to be. It's our first time this trip going into a European church. I like to always, when I'm in Europe, check out at least one church because they're so impressive, so old, so much money that was poured into it. Someone told me that you can tell what a society values most by what are its tallest buildings. So back in this time, of course, churches were the tallest buildings. And nowadays, most countries' tallest buildings would be bank buildings. So I think that tells a lot. And just to get a glimpse of how tall this church is, goes way up. And one last nook before we exit. This is the Dog Whippers Chapel, where they would discipline unruly dogs. Looks like a place here to tie them up. And if you look carefully through that window, you can see the carnival ride. It's called Hell Raiders, and you can hear kids screaming as they whip around in a circle. It's so funny, just right next to this church.
On the top of the organ, it says Vicit vim virtus, which means virtue conquers violence.
I like the music playing. Feels very European. And there's a good buzz. This town is not that big, about 160,000, but they pack them in to the center. This is the entrance to the Corrie Museum. She was famous for hiding Jews and Dutch resistors in a secret compartment in her bedroom during World War II. So she was keeping them out of harm's way when there were Nazis who had taken over the Netherlands. So this is a museum that you do have to reserve well in advance. We're not able to do it on this trip, but if you would like to, they have tours. We're checking out Brewery, which is in a beautiful old building. Very common brewery around these parts. This place is rad.
We're at Jopen, I think that's how you say it, a brewery in Haarlem, established in 1994. Awesome craft brewery in this really old building. Look at the stained glass and the ceilings. There is a restaurant upstairs that we'll check out later. But it's huge and it is poppin' here.
We got a Dutch cheese plate, some oysters, and oyster mushrooms. And we forgot to mention that this is housed in what used to be a church. Friday night, and the view from the second floor. huge tanks, vats, and a little restaurant area. I think this building is from 1911. They saved the plaque. This was a cool experience. We're gonna head back to our wonderful hotel, Brass Hotel and Suites. Solo XXL store. Holland. The carnival at night is bonkers. And we noticed how in Netherlands a lot of unsupervised children and high schoolers. Not as many, helicopter parent situations. We see them biking around town or at the carnival, just doing their own thing. It's kind of cool. Toontown! And they're into XXL. I've seen a lot of things that say XXL. They even pump some fog in to make it more intense. Toontown! Popular spot here. And the church. So many different vibes coming together. And Hell Raiders. Feels like everyone is out on this side. Right next to the church. Every table packed. This is the place to be right here. And I found Tatsu. Not the roller coaster, but a sushi restaurant. Tatsu. Back in the room after a fun Friday night. How's it feel to be in this hotel room, Mo?
It feels like home. I love this room.
It's amazing.
It's the greatest room of my life.
I know. And this is the sweat room, the sauna room right here. So we're pretty cold right now. It's a good way.
It's a steam room.
Oh yeah, that's it. Steam room. It's a cool way to warm up. And we don't have any lights on, but this glow is from the historic streets below us. This street down here we call Bar Alley because there's like 20 bars in a row, and it leads straight to the church, the old church. Great spot.